Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Rugrats. Now, I think a lot of kids growing up in the 90s remember what Rugrats was. It was a story about four babies who could talk as long as the grown-ups aren't around. The only ones who seem to have been aware of it were Angelica, Susie Carmichael, and other characters. Now, what's interesting is that the Rugrats each have character traits. Tommy is the fearless leader of the team. Chucky is the one who is usually scared of everything. Phil and Lil are twins who constantly eat bugs and show to be gross out in that. Now, what's interesting that the Rugrats was meant to be a show showing the baby's day-to-day life. Either it's going on misadventures, finding a certain thing that the grown-ups say, which they mispronounce, or usually cause chaos at a certain stall, a shop, a park, or anywhere else. And what's interesting is that even the characters, even the grown-ups each have personal traits. Stu, who is Tommy's father, was kind of the inventor and the kind of guy who has these inventions that never worked out. And most of them either end up failing or end up with them either putting him in danger. Phil and Lil's mum and dad were, well, Betty was more of the workout girl and more of an activist. Howard was more of the somewhat dad who would usually bake, cook, and all that. And Chucky's dad was usually the guy who was kind of the nerdy guy, but at the same time was a character you could relate to. What's interesting is that Angelica is shown to be bratty, evil, sinister, and conniving, and would usually make up tall tales to get the babies to believe them. What's interesting is that Drew and Charlotte constantly spoil her, and she's shown to have no consideration for anything else. Drew is mainly the more successful one of Drew, and has a bit more of a successful full life. Charlotte is usually the one who is usually on her phone, and usually talks to her employer, Jonathan, who we do see for 2 or 3 episodes. Now, what's also great about the Rugrats is that certain episodes link up to the Rugrats films. For example, Dee Dee finding out she's pregnant while on a cruise links up to Rugrats the movie. And another one with mainly Stu's Reptar project leads up to Rugrats in Paris. And what's interesting is that 2 new characters were included in. From the later seasons, you had Dill, who is Tommy's younger brother, who was voiced by Tara Strong. And in the later seasons, you had Kimmy, who is Chucky's half-sister, and acts kind of like the more adventurous version of Chucky. What's interesting is that even other characters were included in. A character called Tammy, who would take over the role of looking after the babies, and would act more like the more younger version of Lou, who is Tommy's grandpa, and was voiced by Amanda Bynes before her career went down the toilet. You even had characters like Tommy's step-grandmother, Lulu, who was kind of like the more fun grandmother sort of character. And you even had Lou, who was kind of like a war veteran and so on. What's interesting, the show ran from 1991 all the way to 2004. And you had spin-offs like All Grown Up, and you even had shows like Susie and also Angelica Preschool Days. Now, I do like Susie as a character because, one, she was more of the more considerate and more mature version of Angelica, and even acted more like the voice of reason to the Rugrats. So, was the Rugrats good or bad? It was definitely good how it took more time on building up a world where babies could be more adventurous and at the same time get themselves in situations. The downside is trying to add in new characters to try and boost in more popularity. So, what do I think? Rugrats does deserve a good thumbs up. still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.